There wasn't a full consensus at yesterday's meeting between provincial leaders and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as they work on a plan to address Trump's plan to slap tariffs on Canadian imports.
For the latest, let's go live to Ottawa once again with CTV's Jeremy Sharon. Jeremy, good to see you this morning. Any new developments here in terms of the U.S. tariff front? We know Donald Trump's going to be inaugurated just a couple of days from now.
Yeah, just a few days away now, Nick. And, the biggest thing is that there is no united front when it comes to the provinces and the federal government's stance on how to respond to these tariffs. It's close to a united front, but there is one outlier. Yesterday, after the premier's meeting, a joint statement was released by all of the premiers and the prime minister, except for one premier, Danielle Smith, Alberta's premier, who attended the meetings virtually. She's away on vacation, and she would not support the joint statement that was released by all of the premiers and the prime minister that indicated that everything is on the table when it comes to retaliatory tariffs and how Canada will respond to the potential of these tariffs incoming after Inauguration Day. All the premiers and the prime minister unanimous, other than one, in that everything needs to be on the table. Premier Danielle Smith said she could not support that joint statement as long as it includes the consideration of restricting energy exports to our U.S. counterparts. Of course, that's because of the impact it would have on her province. But every other premier and the prime minister have said it is on the table. It is a tool that they need to be able to use when it comes to negotiating with Donald Trump and his U.S. administration. But Premier Danielle Smith says she can't support it. So almost a united front, not quite.
Okay, so given the fact that she's openly said she can't support it, not really about this Team Canada approach, how do you see this playing out? Can, I don't know, Trudeau force her to? Like, what's at stake here?
Well, it certainly has an impact because she'll ultimately have control over, decisions made about her province. In this situation, it's unlikely, in terms of the way I look at it, perhaps there's some kind of workaround that I'm not familiar with, but it's unlikely that the prime minister would be able to force her hand here. But it also presents this kind of these cracks in the so-called Canada approach, right? United Canada approach. We heard some comments from Premier Doug Ford yesterday that indicated he's not thrilled with the stance that Premier Danielle Smith has taken, saying that he has a different approach, that he feels this is a situation where it's Canada first. While all the premiers, of course, are focused on their own provinces, there's a time to be focused on Canada as a whole, and Premier Doug Ford made it clear he feels as though this is the time. His province is going to suffer equally here, if not more than Premier Danielle Smith's province will. The auto sector in Ontario will be hit hard by this. We heard earlier in the week Premier Doug Ford say 500,000 jobs could be lost here. So, our province here in Ontario is likely to be hit very hard. All the premiers are willing to leave everything on the table, make sure that Canada is in the best position it possibly can be when it comes to negotiating and retaliatory measures it could take. Premier Danielle Smith says, not on my watch. I have to look out for my province. We're not willing to take that step. It will hurt us too much. It hasn't been a popular take so far.
Quite a contrast in style yesterday between Premier Ford and Premier Smith, of course, with Premier Ford saying jurisdiction is key, but Canada comes first. Okay, we'll watch the developments out of Ottawa. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anytime, guys.